What you are about to hear is highly classified. Pay attention and listen at all times. And most importantly, remember, the cake is a lie! Ladies and gentlemen, you are now entering Zone 4. And welcome back to the Zone. I'm Brant Fowler.
I'm John Wilson.
I'm Chris Ventura. And I'm Mike Ventura.
And this is episode 271 of Zone 4. Crazy, we're almost at 275. Seems like yesterday we did that 200 episode from the fiasco, all that craziness.
It wasn't?
It wasn't, no. Seems like it.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, maybe it was last week and I'm making up things now. I don't know what's going on anymore. But before we get...
Zone 4. We can't tell time anymore.
Exactly. We never could. What are you talking about?
I
had to look to see what number
hand
episode
is
this
the
was.
hand, and the little hand is the hour hand.
I always get that confused. I always wear a digital watch.
There you go. See, well, everything's age of technology. Why not?
There you go. But before we get too deep into things, we do have a couple of sponsors this week.
Sponsor of the week.
First of all, Audible.com. If you go to audibletrial.com/Zone4Podcast, you can get a free 30-day trial and a free book download, and it does help out the show, all the shows on the Zone 4 website. Zone 4, The Rain and Power Hour, Hall of Toys, It's a Bird, It's a Plane, It's a Podcast. So you're supporting all those great shows by getting something for free. How cool is that?
It's cooler than Iceman's boxers.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
You're the one. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they have over 150,000 titles to choose from. You can choose any kind of genre you could think of. Chris is a Superman fan. They have tons of Superman stuff on there.
Hey, Brent, do they have any X-Men stuff?
Do they have any X-Men stuff? I'm sure they do. Let's see.
Because X-Men, the movie's out this week.
That is
Well, what
true.
about Spider-Man? You know, Amazing Spider-Man.
Then we've already
2,
covered Spider-Man.
the Punisher.
Actually, they don't have any X-Men stuff. Wow.
Wow.
So they only have like what's out now and
No, don't.
what? I was just asking a simple question.
They have books.
They
Okay,
have all kinds of books, though.
They don't have comics.
but comics are alright.
They are books, but they don't have them. They only have textbooks. They only have books that are all text.
Yeah, they may have, like, they've... some of the publishers have done, like, the prose novels of, like, Spider-Man or whatever. They might have stuff like that.
Ah, gotcha.
But they have Game of Thrones, Dresden Files, stuff like that, though. All kinds of cool stuff. So whatever your interest is, you can find something on Audible. All right, and our other sponsor is, of course, Derby City Comic Con, coming up on June 28th and 29th in Louisville, Kentucky. And John and I will be there,
Mm-hmm.
along with a bunch of other people, including Robert Venditti.
Mark Wade.
Mark Wade. And, God, I should have brought up the website. Who else is going to be there, John?
Jonathan Matthews, the guy that does the really cool DC Direct
Right, yeah.
statues. Scott Snyder works for DC and Marvel. Laura Innes will be there for one day, only on Saturday, but she will be there.
Dirk Manning, who's been on the show before.
Dirk Manning. Of course, all our friends, Dustin Carson, Victor Dandridge, Chad Lambert, Ren McKenzie,
All those people.
all them people.
There's all kinds of guests, tons of creators. You can check out all the information at derbycitycomiccon.com. And come by and say hi to me. I'll have a table, and John will be floating around. As far as I know, okay? So,
Yep, running around like a crazy person.
yeah, and we'll be talking more about it. Chuck, I think, is going to join us the week after next for an episode of Zone 4, and I'm sure he'll be talking all about it because we'll be only 2 weeks out from the show at that point. So, there you go.
Check out the website. You have got the new T-shirt design on there from Justin Castaneda.
Mm-hmm.
The new poster
Very nice.
done by Bruce O'Hughes.
Mm-hmm.
And a whole list of all the people who are going to be there. So Come check it out.
And we should also mention we are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. You can find us each and every Friday on comicspodcasts.com, along with a bunch of other podcasts, hundreds actually, and several other comic-related shows. So check us out there. All right, that's all for that good stuff. Man, you guys are a quiet bunch this week.
Well, I'm not going to be at Derby City Comic Con, unfortunately. I'd love to be there.
Loser.
I, however, will be at the special edition New York Comic Con, and that's all.
True. Which is next month. So
it is next month, yes.
Awesome. Which next month is only in a few days. So
Yep. So that's really, you want to find me, I'll be floating ever so gently around everywhere.
And we should mention today, as we're recording, it's Chris's birthday.
I had a feeling that was going to come up.
Yeah, actually, I was a little suspect of this, because didn't he have one, like, earlier in the year already?
No.
Because I was looking at Facebook today, and I'm like, wait, didn't he have one of those already?
He celebrated this past weekend. Maybe that's what you're thinking.
No, I was thinking like months ago. I remember this happening. It's
My
like,
brother Michael's birthday's in January.
No, maybe not that long ago.
Yeah,
somewhere in between.
Yeah, months ago, John. Yeah, about 12 months ago. He did.
Yeah.
Thank you, Captain Obvious. But
no, there was no other birthday except Tommy's, and that was before Michael's. That's
Okay.
even birthday.
Yeah.
I just thought you were trying to pull shenanigans on Facebook and,
Oh,
try
no.
to elicit nice responses for your birthday. Even though I was one of the first ones that actually gave you a birthday wish on Facebook.
Yes, you were.
There.
Actually, John, I think you were the first one.
Probably was, because I'm up earliest of everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you were. You were the first or the second, but yeah, you definitely were, because I remember seeing your name.
Cool.
And thank you, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome. Happy birthday, if it is truly your birthday.
I'm pretty sure.
How do you know? You weren't there.
No, I wasn't. You're right.
Well, technically he was there. But
No, well, if his mom wasn't there, neither was he.
well, that's, yeah.
He's trying to claim his mom wasn't around, so neither is he.
No, I'm a figment of everybody's imagination.
You're a Fig Newton of our amalgamation? Of course you are.
Indeed.
I like Fig Newtons. The generic kind suck, though.
Well, yeah, because those are neither Fig nor Newton.
There you go. Oh,
Those
Lord.
are like Fug Newtons or something.
Wow.
That's like eating the fake Oreo cookies,
Those are awful.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Those are disgusting.
Oh, why are we talking about snack foods all of a sudden?
Hey, you started it.
My birthday must trigger the word snack food somehow.
Well, we were talking about cake before the show.
No, there you go.
Getting us all hungry and everything.
Not my fault.
Well,
Yeah,
it has
but
to
we
be
still blame
because
you.
she's not really there, you said. So.
Yeah. So it has to be your fault, since it is your birthday. And your fictitious mother brought in a cake.
Oh, that's
Last night you stole all her chips.
I didn't even get to eat any of those chips. She wouldn't even leave until I gave them back.
Well, they were hers.
Exactly.
Technically not, but okay.
Anyway, so should we talk about some comic book headlines?
If we have to.
That's what we're here for, so we might as well.
Get your news here, it's hot off the presses.
And the terrible segues continue on Zone 4. So, first item of interest, as I feel like I'm still the only one talking here. Edgar Wright.
I'm not the only one talking. I'm right here. Hi, and John's
You're
right
a
there.
figment of our imagination, remember?
I'm a loud figment of your imagination.
I'm not even sure Mike's actually here, because I never hear him.
Mike had to step away 2 seconds.
Oh, okay.
He said he'd be
See?
right back.
Maybe
Mike
he's
has
the
died.
figment. He's the figment of our imagination. Anyway, Edgar Wright leaves Ant-Man, will no longer direct, after being part of the project since 2006 over creative differences with Marvel.
Isn't he going to another movie, The Sinister Six, I think?
No, that's the other guy.
That's the guy that left Daredevil.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oops, sorry, wrong person.
Yeah.
No, he's not going to anything Marvel related.
Nope, he's done.
He and Marvel kind of had a divorce.
Yep.
Wow.
And it's just so odd because he's been involved so long.
Yeah, didn't he want to do this since the second he started working with Marvel?
Yeah, he's championed this movie. Yeah.
Yeah, this was his thing, and I think Marvel stepped in finally and started to exert a little of their supposed opinion around, and he said, nope, leaving, thanks, anyway.
Probably trying to impose more of the extended universe and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, I guess, he didn't want it to, he wanted it to be his vision and his vision alone, I guess, which I understand as a director, and it's a project that he had to fight for and kind of, champion and do the promotion for and stuff, so.
Yeah, he carried it this far. If they'd been smart, they would have just let him carry it the rest of the way. Mm-hmm. But, corporations have to step in and be ridiculous sometimes, so now they're paying for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lost. I have a feeling he had a really good script. They just wanted to change some fundamental things to make it fit their comic universe. Yeah. And that's where the cookie crumbled.
I don't even think it was probably that. I think it was probably they were going to want to shoehorn that other Ant-Man in there at some point. O'Grady or whatever he was.
Oh, that's possible.
I bet you something like that they're going, no, we don't want Scott Lang. Scott Lang's dead. We want you to make this, what's his face, O'Grady, and we want him to be snarky and,
I'm still of the opinion it should have been Pym. This is the beginning of the Avengers. It should have been Pym.
Yeah, it should have been Pym, and this should have been the Oedipus for where Ultron came from.
Exactly.
Rather than it apparently being some sort of Stark mix-up.
Yeah. Now this movie is actually taking place after Avengers 2.
Yeah. So an even
is
bigger
it coming
mix.
out? Is it coming out after or before Avengers 2? No.
After. It's coming out in July.
Okay.
July of next year. I think Avengers in May, maybe?
Yeah, Avengers is... I think Avengers are going to stake out May for every chance they get.
Gotcha. Okay, I don't like, as far as Ant-Man, when I think of that, I don't think of Scott Lang. It's just, this movie doesn't speak to me with that character. With Hank Pym, it's like, okay, I know the character, I've read about him, I know background on him, he's got stuff going on in the Marvel Universe right now. He would have been the smarter person to go with.
No, plus Ant-Man was one of the original Avengers in the comics.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, they have Pym in there, but he's going to be Michael Douglas, who's
really
older than, who's older than death itself at this point. So, having a geriatric Hank Pym in there isn't going to make a lot of sense. Because, even if they follow any semblance of the Scott Lang Hank Pym story, Pym was still running around as some sort of superhero when Scott Lang stole his stuff.
I think that's exactly what they're doing, though. It's Scott Lang stealing the suit and Michael Douglas or Hank Pym mentoring him. I think that's what they're doing.
Right, but, it's going to be like Batman Begins. It's going to be, Hank Pym in a wheelchair mentoring Scott Lang. And, Paul Rudd's not exactly he's not exactly a kid either.
No.
So it's still going to be a little off kilter.
He's 45.
Yeah, so, he's not exactly a youngster himself, so it's still going to be a little off kilter because of the age there. Because Scott Lang, even though he had a kid and stuff, he was still a younger man at the time.
What do you think, Mike? Is he back yet?
Yeah, he's right here.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I've been back. I just didn't say anything.
He didn't want to.
Beside the point, I don't know, like, lately they've been doing lots of, character changes with, Marvel, but...
This is the director.
Yeah, I know, the director. I don't know. I mean, after like seeing like movie trailers over the months, I'm just saying, I guess just wait for the trailer to come out and then we'll all see for ourselves how the movie's gonna be. I mean, I don't read much of Ant-Man. I've only like
You have
heard.
no idea who the people are who we're talking about.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, that's why I said I never read Ant-Man. But, I'm planning to see the movie will be good, give it a shot, and maybe open my eyes to new horizons of the character.
Sure.
That is, yeah. But, I don't know, like, for it to be after Avengers 2, maybe it'll be good. Who knows?
I just found another article that says they're kind of speculating, or they claim to have some kind of inside scoop, but that it is actually last minute script changes. So
Yeah,
kind of what we all thought anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring. They're coming in and tampering.
Yeah.
Marvel stepping in and tampering with stuff, and he's like, "Nope, not gonna do it. We're leaving.
Yep.
Take my ball and go home."
So they haven't found another director for it yet, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything about it. So that's
They're
tight.
saying it's possible the co-writer
Yeah.
might do it, but there's no definite word on it yet.
It's just
So who
over
knows?
a year before it hits the theater and they have no director.
Yeah, and it's probably going to be fairly effects heavy, so
Yeah,
it's not like they don't need to get the photography in the can pretty quickly.
right. I guess we'll have to see what happens with that. But we mentioned Daredevil and passing through all that, so you should dive right into that. The showrunner left for that series, the Daredevil Netflix series, and like Chris mentioned, he's moving on to the Sinister Six film.
Yeah, for a good reason, I suppose.
Yeah, but the Sinister Six film is Sony, so he's like completely leaving Marvel
He's jumping
Studios.
ship.
Yeah,
He's jumping ship to DC, basically.
well, not to DC.
No. Well, even Sony still carries the Marvel.
Yeah, and they're still
Banner.
involved.
Yeah.
It's just not.
But isn't the Sinister Six from a DC comic? The
No,
DC
it's-
comic?
No,
Spider-Man.
that's Spider-Man's villains.
Oh,
That-
Rhino, Doc Ock, all those.
Okay,
You're-
yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, you're thinking of
Secret Six. Oh,
Secret Six.
I'm sorry.
Now
You're-
that movie I'd like to see.
I know, right? I was thinking about that. I'm like, wow, they're gonna make that movie, and then it's now I'm disappointed.
No, that movie I'd enjoy.
No,
Yeah,
so he
Mr. Six, like, I think all of us have been waiting to actually see that happen in a Spider-Man movie, so it's gonna be really.
We have. I was waiting for Carnage,
Well, yeah, there's that too, with the hopeful.
not Jim Carrey Carnage, but Carnage.
Well, Jim Carrey plays Carnage.
you haven't heard that rumor, John?
No, I've heard it. I'm
Okay.
just
I don't know.
I
at least
consider it
that's-
blaspheming.
I think if they had done Venom right, I'd be excited about a Carnage eventually, but not now.
Well, yeah, true. After 3.
Well, now they're making their own Venom movie.
Why?
Well, let's hope it won't be.
Exactly.
Well, let's hope it won't be like the design in Spider-Man 3, and it'll be.
It's gonna be bad.
Oh no.
But they did tap a new showrunner for the Daredevil series on Netflix. What's his name? Stephen S. DeKnight?
Yep.
Yeah. Which I'm not familiar with anything else he's done. John, are you?
He did Spartacus for 3 seasons.
Okay.
And he also worked with the guy that stepped away.
Okay.
He worked with him on Angel and Buffy, Dollhouse, and Smallville. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah. He did.
so he's got cred.
Yeah, he was a co-executive producer on Smallville for 53 episodes.
Yep. So he's got, they're not putting it in the hands of someone who doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Now, with the Netflix movies, how long are they? The running time. What is the running? Are they going to be going for full-fledged 2-hour movies or 1-hour?
No,
movies?
they're 13 episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going for episodes. So just 13.
And then the Defenders thing will be a movie.
Yeah, they'll be.
Right.
They're making. What is it? It's Luke Cage, Daredevil. Is it Iron Fist?
Iron
Iron
Fist,
Fist?
Jessica Jones, and then they're going to do scratch movie. They're going to do mini-series
Yeah,
called
with
Defenders.
Yeah, with those characters.
With those
yeah.
characters and maybe a few others.
Yeah.
Hopefully a few others.
I hope if this goes well, they'll do other groups. Maybe like I don't think they'll do X-Men because of Sony and everything. But you never know. There's other little groups within Marvel's universe.
There's always groups.
And they did cast Daredevil finally for the show, and it is Charlie Cox, which okay, it's an odd choice to me. I looked him up. He's a British actor. He's done
He was in 300.
Was he in 300? Okay.
Yeah.
He was in Stardust.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
I can't tell you who he was in 300. He was also, if anybody watched Boardwalk Empire, he was on that.
Yeah. It makes me feel a little bit better that he was in 300, though.
Yeah, I don't remember which guy he was, but, he might have been, shirtless guy number 8 or whatever, but I think he was in 300, so it's okay.
Just looking at some pictures of him, I'm like, okay, that's odd choice there, but whatever.
Yeah, it's strange because there's some pictures of him clean shaven, looking boyish, and then you've got some of these others with him sporting a beard and slick back hair, and looking kind of gangstery.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Hopefully he can pull it off.
Yeah, as long as they dye his hair red, I don't think anybody's gonna have too much problem.
So, interesting. He was. Have you guys, Mike and Chris, have you seen the movie Stardust?
No.
Okay. Then never mind.
That's why we're sitting here quietly smiling.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie. It's based on a Neil Gaiman book.
Right. I like the movie. It's just his character in that movie just. I'm like, I don't see Daredevil in that. That's all.
Yeah, well, so. I'm not sure you can gauge from that exactly.
That's true. But I also saw this as I was looking through news that Clark Gregg, who of course plays Agent Coulson, is interested in having a role in the Netflix series.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So kind of further tying that all into the overall universe.
Right. No, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
I would too. But, we'll have to see what happens.
We'll have to see.
Yeah.
But, like I said, in the other thing, I'm kind of jazzed for this, and because it's Netflix, I figure that they'll be able to be a lot more street level and more kind of dirty and gritty with it than, not so much grim and gritty, but definitely more kind of the street level thing, because you don't have to deal with network censors on Netflix.
Right.
I mean, if you've seen any of the Netflix originals they got going out now, it's obvious that censorship isn't a problem there.
No,
so,
it basically could be on HBO or Showtime.
Yeah, it can definitely get away with a lot. So.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'd want to see cursing on the shows. I mean, violence, explosions, whatnot, that's fine, but Luke Cage I could definitely see cursing, but...
Yeah, I mean, Sweet Christmas only came from the fact that Luke Cage couldn't cuss in the comics, so... I mean, I don't think they'll be throwing down, F-bombs throughout the entire thing, especially not Daredevil, who's kind of a more educated thing, but, it's kind of silly. You have a couple of, gangsters throwing down on the street, calling each other,
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I meant the
Pally and
characters.
stuff like that,
I didn't mean... I meant the characters, the actual characters, like Daredevil. I didn't mean, like, supporting characters or people like that. That's fine. It's just I don't want to see them out of character just because they have that chance to do more.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's still Marvel Studios, and if they are tying this into the larger universe, they're going to be careful with that a little bit, I think. So.
Honestly, you know what I think they're going to do with Daredevil? I think he's not going to say much in costume.
Probably not.
I think he's going to be very much, man of few words, man of action, whatever you want to call it, in costume.
Which I think...
No, go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, that's it. I said which I think is good.
Yeah, and I think what's going to happen is he's going to have a really heavy internal monologue going on.
That's possible.
You know, I don't know if you'll remember this, Chris, because it was a couple of years ago, but Brant, you remember a Fox show called Brimstone?
Yeah.
Okay, you remember the internal monologue thing that he would do, like, all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of like that.
I can see that.
I
Or
think
even a little bit Dresden Files, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I think anything could be better than the Daredevil we got with Ben Affleck.
I actually like that movie. So.
You know, I actually like it, and, well, if you go back and look at the extended one...
Yeah, the extended version is definitely better. Yeah,
where they cut a lot of crap out. If you look at the version with Coolio in it...
I saw the regular version. I didn't get the extended.
Oh, you need the extended one that has Coolio as one of his... he's defending, not really Coolio, but Coolio's playing this dude that he's defending, and it's a much better story. You could see a lot more Murdoch.
Yeah.
A lot more of him being a lawyer.
They kind of butchered that movie when they sent it.
Oh, they tore it up in the theaters. Yeah, they killed it. But if you see that, you see a lot more of that. You see a lot more angst. I mean, there's nothing that's going to fix... there's nothing that's going to fix Bullseye. Bullseye was a piece of crap from Go.
I didn't mind Bullseye.
Was actually pretty amazing.
Yeah, I didn't care for the actress for Elektra personally, but that's me.
I just thought Bullseye was...
Really.
Yeah.
You know.
Elektra was actually Alias.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she was a good actress and all that, playing Elektra. But, you know, I also like the scene where Matt Murdock and her were fighting that one time at a park where all the children are, like, looking and stuff. Like, I thought that was cool. Random. Yeah, but it was cool, though.
The problem I had with Bullseye is he played it so broad. He just played it so big, and I thought, you know, maybe he could have pulled that back a little bit.
Okay.
Honestly, I wish they'd given him a bloody costume. I didn't need to see that it was Colin Farrell the whole time.
And the famous quote that Bullseye always says, like, when he missed it, he's like, "Missed? I never miss." Like, that's like the biggest clothesline. I mean, even the songs that one there, like the Man Without Fear song. Oh my God, that was just...
Yeah, Evanescence was during her little fight montage.
Yeah.
The Evanescence that had no place there.
I love Evanescence.
I mean, I like Evanescence fine, you know, as music.
It's awesome, Evanescence.
But it didn't feel like it had any place there, you know. It just felt... Because it's kind of a pseudo-love song, and she's stabbing bags to it. You know?
I don't know. My main problem with the film was the way it was shot because it was so dark.
Oh, yeah, it was. I mean, there are times when you literally cannot see people in the shot.
But it was also showing Matt Murdock's viewpoint of what it was like for him when he was blind. I mean, you got to look at it that way because it's basically showing, like, if you were blind, like, sometimes you would see it like this, and it improved his other senses. Like hearing was improved, and, you know, like, if you lose one sense, the other sense is stronger. So...
to some extent. My wife works with the blind, and that's not necessarily true, but...
with Daredevil it is.
With Daredevil it is because of the chemical thing, but with that, no, I don't mean like the radar sense. The radar sense stuff I was cool with. I thought that was brilliant. No, I meant like the cinematography.
Yeah.
Was just dark.
There was a lot of fights in the dark and rain, and it kind of muddied up the view. It was kind of hard to see at times. That's all.
Yeah, like when he was after Quesada in the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was just too dark. You couldn't even see what was going on half the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, you know, watch the extended version. It makes it a much better film. But yeah, I'm hoping that this is going to be... I'm actually hoping this is going to be what Punisher wanted to be, but with less guns.
Yeah.
You know, kind of that...
Which Punisher you mean, the first or the second movie?
Oh, the one with Thomas Jane. I never saw the Dolph Lundgren piece of crap.
The one with Thomas Jane was really, like, awesome. The second movie, Warzone, ugh, no.
I never saw that one, actually, but the one with Thomas Jane, but... You know, I don't like the Punisher as a character anyway, but I do like that kind of street level sensibility that movie brought, and that's what I kind of want to see for this. You know, it's cool if they connected to the larger universe, but you know, I don't need to see superheroes flying over the city. I want it to stay totally into Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, I agree.
I want it to stay totally...
Keep it grounded.
Right, keep it grounded, keep it focused on Murdoch, and keep it focused on, you know, Daredevil protecting Hell's Kitchen, and,
you know, throw characters like the Kingpin, like Jigsaw, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. You know, keep the sort of... I mean, if they want to do Stiltman as like a one-off, fine. but don't, you know, make Stiltman a major villain or anything like that. Just kind of keep it more, for lack of a better word, realistic. You know, keep it more on the street. Now, another thing that I hope they avoid, the Daredevil movie put way too many in-jokes in there. Like, you know, naming a character Casada.
Yeah.
And, you know, naming street names after creators and all this other stuff, you know.
I want to ask you a question.
What it was, but it got to be a problem.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question. What were your thoughts on Kingpin in the Daredevil movie?
You know, at first I was totally like, oh, I can't believe what you've done here. You know, because they completely threw the idea out of what Kingpin was supposed to be. Now, for what they did with the character, Michael Clark Duncan, rest his soul, I thought he was great.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't really so much the Kingpin, because except for the last 5 minutes of the movie, that to me felt like Kingpin. You know, where he was thrown down with Daredevil.
Right.
Yeah,
because he's supposed to be, you know, the whole idea of the Kingpin is he looks fat, but he's actually all muscle.
Right.
Right, because that's all muscle that he does. Because some people say that he was fat, and I keep telling them that it's really muscle. So
yeah, he's like a sumo
someone
wrestler.
thinks like me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a sumo wrestler. So, you know, when you see Michael Clark Duncan like stripped down to his undershirt, you see that, you know, he's fairly ripped. He's fairly, you know, he's a huge muscular guy. That's the Kingpin.
Yeah.
But, you know, like some of the earlier stuff and I never felt like Kingpin was in control of anything. And that was a problem for me. You know, he hired Bullseye, but that seemed like the most proactive thing he did in the whole movie.
Yeah.
I would have really liked to see him go after, you know, Murdoch and Nelson a little bit more, maybe try to mess up their business a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the stuff he did in the comics, you know, not only attacking him from the superhero side, but attacking him from the personal business side as well. Now, you know, I realize there's only so much time in an action movie and blah, 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 and all that other stuff, but, you know, it felt like there were missed opportunities there.
Mm.
Yeah,
and they did spend too much time on, you know, the Jennifer Garner
and then she got her own movie, and we won't talk about that.
No, that's not.
Well, yeah, that was sad. Well, you know, the mistake they made there is, once again, not keeping it grounded in reality. They had to go mystic.
I was so...
They went sappy. I don't know what they...
They went sappy, too, but they had to go mystic. They had to go, you know, they had to go to this kind of mystic warrior place. And it's like, yeah, we get that she was resurrected by the hand and all that other stuff, but do you really need Raiden from Mortal Kombat to show up and start giving her problems? I mean, come on.
And they had Zod in there. That was interesting.
Well, you know, anytime Zod shows up, it's interesting.
Yeah, poor Zod.
It was the actor, not
actually
Zod.
I know. I was only improvising.
Leave your brother alone.
Thank you.
Oh, shoot. All right, so moving over to DC.
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
We're getting introduced to the New 52 version of Helena Bertinelli. Now,
Who?
Huntress.
Huntress.
Oh, okay.
I'm showing you the article now, Mike. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Brad. I'm showing Michael. So you and John talk while I show Michael.
All right, for anyone that might be a little bit confused, the Huntress that's been running around in the New 52 right now is the Earth 2 version. She's Helena Wayne, Helena Wayne.
Yeah.
Thank you, Helena Wayne, and totally different character. She took the way it was explained to me. She took the identity of a Helena Bertinelli, but it wasn't this one. This is a different one. I don't know what's going on. It's so confusing. But anyway, they're introducing this into the main DCU world now, and the redesign. I don't even know how to explain this, John.
You know what it looks like they've done. Honestly, they tried to, and most everybody listening to this is too young to remember this. But back in the '60s, they tried to make Wonder Woman. Well, probably the nice way to put it. Denny O'Neil got this weird idea in his head that to make Wonder Woman more of a feminist icon was to strip her of her powers, put her in a white suit, and teach her martial arts.
Right.
This outfit looks like that idea, with the exception that it's open to the navel.
Yeah.
And that she's an African-American character. Now, when I first looked at this, I said, what the heck is Misty Knight doing in the DC universe?
With Bane's mask?
Yeah, with Bane's mask, essentially.
Yeah, like I was saying,
what's
up with that?
Yeah, it looks like the one picture with her with her boot up on somebody and the arrow sticking out looks like Misty Knight from Heroes for Hire over in Marvel. I mean, just straight on, like, with her shirt open. First off, I hope that this isn't the costume because it's ridiculous in the fact that you can't do superhero crap in an open shirt like that and not have your breasts fall out. I mean, let's be honest. Now, if you scroll down the picture in Nightwing 30, that's kind of the old top there that she's wearing. She's wearing like the cross top, and then she's wearing like fatigue pants and apparently only one boot. I can't really tell. It looks like, I guess it's supposed to be shadow, but it looks like she's wearing one knee-high boot and one not. But anyway, so that makes more sense, and I'm not even sure what that purple mess on the bottom between the two.
That was rejected.
I hope that was rejected. Tim, I'm a big fan and nothing but respect, but dude, that looks like you threw something Hawk and Dove together.
No, it was based off of some finishing school. I don't know if that was a story or a series.
Superior Agents from Finishing School. I missed this one obviously because I'm not, and wasn't the New 52 supposed to quietly disappear?
Yeah,
soon?
Right. Yeah, right. It's quietly disappearing nothing. It's basically, hey, let's throw away our legacy, hand it over to a bunch of these new people that don't know our universe, don't know the legacy of the characters, don't give a crap, and just want to do their own self-created work and slap on some old titles and old character names. Bada bing. Enters Huntress.
Yeah, I mean, Huntress has never had the brightest costuming. I think the only one that really sort of did her right was during Birds of Prey. And the Arrow costume, is pretty much just a leather jacket. But
I just feel like DC Comics is just like, hey, you know what? We erased our legacy, so come on over, creators, and just create whatever the heck you want, and we'll just say, hey, that's Huntress. That's Arsenal. Oh, that looks like John Jones. Let's call that John Jones. That looks like Superman. We'll call that Superman. Oh, look, there's two Superboys. Oh, but that one's from an alternate future where Lois Lane and Superman have a kid. Oh, yeah, okay, why not? Let's throw two Lobos into the universe.
No, let's not.
They did.
Thank you.
They
did they? Oh, good lord.
Yeah,
but anyway.
The original Lobo is a fake Lobo. The real Lobo is this. I don't know, Brent. You got to share a picture with John about.
Are you talking
what
about the
real
Red
Lobo
Hood and the
looks
Outlaws
like.
recent comic?
Right.
I've always hated Lobo anyway. But getting back to her, they're gonna have to give me a really good reason to change her ethnicity like this, because there's no reason for forced ethnicity. And if she's keeping the last name Bernetti or Bertinelli, Italian name, explain to me exactly why this obviously African American character has an Italian name now.
Unless it's just the way she's drawn. Maybe she still is Italian.
No.
No. Well,
unless she's dark-skinned Italian, like the tan part of Italy.
Yeah, she's African American, and it depends on which picture you look at.
Right.
Like the one at the very bottom.
France, she has an afro.
The one at the bottom doesn't, though. I mean, it does.
No,
look
the one
more...
at the bottom, that could just be olive-skinned, which I'll buy. The one in the purple and the one in the open shirt white, obviously African American. So, I'm more than a little confused here. I mean, I have to take all of it with a certain grain of salt, because of where we're looking at it from.
True.
But it's quite confusing, and I assume that they moved the Earth 2 Huntress over to Earth 2 to stay now.
Yeah, she's staying.
She's staying over where she belongs.
Empowered Girl is staying. I don't know what's going to happen after World's End, but I'm guessing. Yeah. I'm guessing. No, Brent. I'm guessing now that they're introducing us to a new Huntress, that the Wayne Huntress, Helena Wayne, she ain't coming back.
Well, I was hoping that we were going to Earth 2 for stories for the near future.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Because
I'm waiting. Oh, go ahead, Brent. Sorry.
I was saying it's hard to say because of that World's End weekly series that's starting.
Yeah. Well, they're restarting now that they've completely messed up one of my favorite characters, Nightwing. They are restarting that book as Grayson.
That's where she's going to be.
Yeah. So, it kind of begs the question, why are they trying to put her into a costume at all? Because isn't Dick Grayson going to be running around relatively plain clothes?
Yeah.
Yeah, undercover.
So why are they,
Because Grayson's going to last 12 issues.
If that.
It's going to end, and he's going to go right back to being Nightwing or a new character.
He'll have to be Flamebird now, since they blew that one up. But, I just kind of wonder, if they are going undercover, the outfit sort of makes sense. At least it's distracting in a, Phantom Lady sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
But why the I stole it from Sportsmaster mask?
I don't know.
I'm waiting for 20 years from now when they reboot the DC universe again and maybe try to get some of their legacy back, because these new writers and this, I
hope it's not going to be 20 years.
I hope not. I hope it's less than that, but it's just I'm going by the pattern. But this editing staff, the heads of DC and the writers have no respect for the legacy that DC Comics built up over the past 75 plus years now. And I feel like it's more of an insult not only to the readers, it's an insult to the company, it's an insult to the characters and the creators that created them 75 plus years ago. That's what the New 52 is. A big slap in the face to try to get new readers. They got them, and then guess what? Most of the new readers moved over to Marvel, because Marvel has all the movies, and now all it is a bunch of a botched up mess, and they're just continually adding more, pardon my language, bullshit to the pile of the New 52. That's why what happened at the end of Forever Evil 7 happened, because they know at some point they're going to need a back door.
Now, you say that with new writers, but looking over the list, you have people still writing there like Grant Morrison, Jeff Johns, Azzarello. These aren't new writers. They've been writing for DC for a long time.
No, I understand they're not new writers, but they're allowed to do new concepts with all of these characters. Their ideas. This is the first time they don't have okay, you're writing Superman, but this is Superman. You can't do this, and that. Instead, they're saying, here's Superman. Do what you want with him. and as long as it doesn't pass a certain thing that we want to keep going, go right ahead.
I would look at it the other way, which is a problem that we've had with DC since the New 52 launch. I think a lot of it is editorial influence on the stories. I don't think it's so much the writers.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, but I'm saying the legacy isn't there where like they can't kill something, they can't change something.
No, I understand that. What I'm saying is, if they are given parameters by the editorial staff saying this is the kind of story we want you to tell, now be creative with this. It's not really the writer's fault or them spitting legacy. Fault. It's the editors. Yeah.
Right. Well, I honestly think that they are trying to fix an inherently flawed idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The New 52 was a bad idea from go. It came from on high that we're going to shake up everything and try this. So we shook up everything and tried this. It didn't work for the most part. Some characters it did okay with. Batman was never really changed, so he was untouched. It completely... Robin was messed up, but Batman himself was relatively untouched. Robin was messed up. Nightwing has ultimately been very messed up. Superman completely destroyed.
Yeah, there's no more Superman.
Right.
Nobody believes it.
Right. So, and they have been trying to fix this inherently flawed idea with trying new things that just aren't working. So now it's become a point of they're more or less been given carte blanche. It's like, we've messed this up so egregiously, let's just keep putting out stuff until we can figure out how to fix it. And the part of that is they messed it up so egregiously, they're not going to be able to fix it in 1, 2, or 3 issues.
No.
It's going to take a while to steer the ship, it's going to turn like an ocean liner. It's going to take a while to steer the ship away from the iceberg.
Mm-hmm. Now, Mike
said he'd be right back.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was curious because I know he does enjoy several of mostly the magic side, the dark side.
And everything's getting taken away, but again, I could say this for Mike. All of his books could have happened pre-New 52.
That's true.
Everything there that could have already been thrown into motion in the old DC universe and still worked perfectly like it was happening. It didn't need the reboot to happen. Swamp Thing was announced before the New 52 was even mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, they could have because if you remember right before the New 52, they I don't remember the name of the series, but they destroyed magic essentially. And the
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the New Age of Magic was supposed to happen.
Right.
So they could have very well taken books like Swamp Thing. Yeah, it was in Shadow Pack. They had to find a new Dr. Fate. The Eclipso had taken hold of Spektor. And together they had essentially destroyed this age of magic.
Mm-hmm.
And then a new, more chaotic age of magic was supposed to come up. So what they could have done with that is they could have taken Swamp Thing, Justice League Dark, Constantine, some of these other stuff, Demon Knights and all this other stuff. They could have gone off and done that. Yeah, they could have.
Go ahead.
I was going to say they could have gone off and dealt with that without ever touching the rest of the DC universe because Shadow Pack didn't interact that much with the rest of the DC universe anyway. Right. They could have gone off and done all the stuff on the magic side and not had it impact. Or, it could have impacted, but it wouldn't have been like the main focus because magic in the DCU has always been kind of to the left anyway.
Right.
And they could have still done the thing with the problem with Starheart, that was running through Justice League and Justice Society at the time. Where it ended up that the Starheart took over Alan Scott and Obsidian and Jade can no longer be anywhere near each other, or else the Starheart takes back over again and, stuff like that. they could have done all that away from everything else and not messed up everything else so egregiously.
I mean, I will say this, though. The DC Universe kind of really, before the New 52, they tried to really screw it up so much that we would be like, we need a reboot. Like, I feel like Justice League, I mean, come on, Supergirl.
I love Kongorilla, but the Justice League was a hot mess.
Even Justice Society was terrible. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when they broke them up in half,
they tried
that was a
to
big
ruin
mistake.
it. They really essentially tried to take their old universe right before the reboot and ruin it. They threw in characters from basically the Teen Titans were the Justice League. Superman was fighting Doomsday clones. I don't know. Wonder Woman went through a whole year. Thank you, J. Mike Straczynski, where she was a completely different character.
Mm-hmm.
I liked
and
that
that was
outfit.
horrible. You remember that? The denim, the leather jacket and whatever.
I liked that outfit.
I love the outfit. I didn't like the concept of it.
Yeah. No, I agree with you there. Yeah,
Oh, Mike, they asked you a question. Mike's back. Brad, go ahead. Mike's back.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. We were talking about DC and everything, and I know that you enjoy a lot of the books. Of course, John just mentioned that they could have done the whole Magic side without rebooting the universe, but I just wanted to get your take on that as a whole.
The Magic side of the DC universe.
Well, just DC, the New
In
52.
general.
Yeah.
The New 52. They're New 52.
Of Constantine, you mean?
No, the entire New 52 if it was necessary, the reboot.
Well, I didn't really read the pre-New 52 comic books. I mean, when New 52 came out, like, it gave me, like, new insight of the characters. Like, I mean, granted, I knew Superman, Superboy, and their character change was, like, really, like, unnecessary and all that. But when I read the other...
Hello?
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
You know.
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. When I read the other books, like Constantine, Justice League Dark, and all the other comic books, like, they were great. I mean, Hawk and Dove was my favorite one until they canceled that series, unfortunately. But do I think it was necessary? As well as the characters changing personalities, I don't think so. But it got new readers like myself to read DC.
Yeah.
But I really don't think it was necessary for that.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. I keep hearing about people that, jumped onto DC with the New 52, and I understand that. That's why they did it. That's, they wanted to hook in new readers and stuff, but I still wonder if that's just pulling readers from Marvel over, as
Right.
opposed to pulling new comic readers in. So, if that's what they're doing, then they're just going back and forth, and it's not really changing the market at all. It's just exchanging people.
Yeah, and there's been lots of cancellation in the books.
Yeah, I mean,
as
basically
well.
the whole Magic side is being canceled anyway.
Well, not
Phantom Strange
Justice
and
League
Pandora,
Dark.
not Justice League Dark, not Phantom, not
Constantine.
but everything else basically is gone.
Did you hear all new All-Star Westerns canceled too?
Yeah, All-Star West.
That book was going to be, forget it. You could have done it pre-New 52
Now-
also, and it would have been canceled.
But
so
see,
anyway.
I mean, granted that I did drop the book in the middle of the story arc, but I came back when the whole Booster Gold thing happened,
Mm-hmm.
and it got my interest to read the book again. And now it's being canceled. It's like all the books I'm reading. Why?
They don't like you, Mike.
Yeah, that must be it.
No, it's like, let's bring in new readers and then cancel all the books that they like.
Well, yeah, that's what they've done.
I'll be right
They tried to bring in people. They tried to bring in people supposedly with these new readers, these new directions, and then they don't give the books enough time to really grow a following.
Yeah.
No, but see, I've read Constantine recently, and the story is really not grasping my interest. Like, it's getting to the point, like, they're saying, like, this person knows about you, go to this person. When the whole Mr. E thing happened, and what happened? He has the sword. And then Mr. E says, oh, this woman knows about... And I said, done. I mean, the story was not grasping. I mean, I know that they're having the TV series in the fall, Constantine, and that I'm looking forward to definitely watching. But the book, I just couldn't anymore. I mean, after the whole thing with Forever Evil Blight, like, for some books, it took a turn, like Fam Stranger, like we just said, getting canceled, and, you know, I don't know. The only thing about Constantine is that I just could not, you know, read the story anymore. It was just not holding my interest.
Gotcha.
I'm one of those people that thinks it was a major mistake for them to take Constantine out of Vertigo anyway and drag him into the regular DCU.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they should have left him where he was and, you know, just tagged another character in there or whatever.
Yeah, and not only that, he's also left the Justice League Dark team, and everyone else is leaving too because of all the trauma that happened with Forever Evil Blight as well. So I don't know what's going on with these teams that are coming and going with Justice League Dark. Even Madame Xanadu was in a recent Fam Stranger comic book.
I don't think DC as a whole knows what the heck.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't know what's with DC, and
there's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, was there any other questions you wanted to ask, or?
No, that was it for
That was it.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, that's my answer. Just I felt it wasn't necessary.
Okay. So the last news item I have is Graphically is closing down, which just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I can't say I'm terribly surprised, though.
No, Comixology's almost a monopoly.
Yeah, they pretty much are. They pretty much have eaten, you know, everything else up that ever came around. You know, in the same digital format thing. Very much like, you know, we saw it with comics distribution. It's just that with standard comics distribution, it's just that the big dog has come in and kind of run everyone else off.
Right.
And Graphically was having problems anyway, with a lot of their, where they were having to move away from comics in large part because of Comixology, and then we're having to move into other books. And now apparently the rumor is that people aren't getting paid. So
yeah, the creators that put their books through there. Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently even some people who were, you know, part of the company, according to one of the articles he gave us, are quite upset. So
yeah. I found it interesting that it only had 6 employees.
Yeah.
And they were all absorbed into this other company.
What comics did they bring out? Are there any known?
I'm
just curious. Yeah. I've never heard of them.
You've never heard of Graphically?
I might have, and I just, you know, I might know the comics. That's why I'm asking.
They were around before Comixology.
Yeah, they were kind of the first, and then everybody sort of jumped ship off them and went to Comixology.
Yeah, and then they started branching out from comics to, like John said, to do other kinds of books, and that's probably why you've never heard of them.
To be honest, this sounds like, because Comixology was happening before my comic shop closed. So this sounds like stuff that I didn't even know. I didn't even know that you could, you know, I didn't even, what happened?
Oh, he's going to answer his door.
I didn't even know Comixology existed until way after my comic shop closed down, because my comic shop owner, he just said, you tell me what books you want, I'll put them down for you, no problem. So I didn't even know there was a way that you can, like, have a pull list. I thought the whole thing was through the store owner. I didn't even know he did it through Comixology or what Comixology was. When I started ordering on Midtown is actually when I saw, you know, you could do a pull list, this and that, and it's on Comixology. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that, you know, it was a lot more, at least in the beginning, that they started out for people who didn't have access to a comic store.
Yeah.
And then, it, you know, as the digital boom really started taking off, they became that thing where, you know, people could order their books digitally before. This was long before, you know, a lot of the individual companies got into doing their own books off their own websites or before anything, you know. This was
they launched in 2007.
Thing, yeah.
So looking back, they haven't updated their Facebook page for 2 years.
Right.
They used to have stuff like Top Cow, Archaea, Boom, Archie, all that stuff. So Yeah, Comixology kind of just took them over.
Oh yeah, the comic just kind of wiped him off the map. Actually, so.
It wiped everybody off the map.
Yeah.
You remember that long box that there was that?
I remember that
long box.
It was such a big buzz about them. They had that whole CBR article, and then they just never launched ever.
I know they were putting out press, and you couldn't go to a show without getting inundated with cards and stuff from them, and just never came together.
Yeah. But I just thought it was interesting that they only had 6 employees and they were all absorbed by this other company. And
yeah, which I've never heard of, Blurb or whatever.
I haven't either. Yeah.
It sounds like one of those companies that may come and go even quicker than Comixology. Or even quicker than Graphically, rather.
They do have a website, but it looks like they focus more on other kinds of books as well. So.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe they're kind of the distribution arm for that now.
Oh, they actually make books. That's what they do.
Oh, okay. Well, that's different then.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, so there's
not much
that.
there. Sorry for the people, I feel bad for all the creators that are getting screwed in this little switch over. But, that's kind of always what happens.
Yep.
Every time you have every time you try to put your loyalty in one of these companies, you run the risk of, getting screwed over if they go belly up, which we've seen happen a lot in other venues.
Yeah, and the bad thing with a digital company like that is that there's not a whole lot of assets to liquidate.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So you're probably not getting paid.
No.
Unless you sue. So.
Unless you sue, and, even then, it's like, what are you going to take, their computer?
Right. All right, so that's all the headlines I had, unless anybody noticed anything else, which I don't think so, because it was kind of a slow news week this week.
Yep.
For any,
Yeah, pretty much nothing happening, surprisingly.
Yeah. I know it's going to ramp up here soon.
Well,
Yeah, San Diego.
Con season is coming in droves pretty soon, so.
Exactly. But that brings us to topic time.
Topic time.
It's topic time.
Topic time.
And for this week, we're actually going to be touching on 3 books, I think. Depends on what we get to. But
2.5, maybe.
2.5, maybe, yeah. John and I are going to start with Star Wars Rebel Heist. The guys had to step away for a minute, but they'll be back with us soon. So this is Rebel Heist 2. We talked about the first issue on a previous episode of the show, and we said we were going to, at least give it another issue. It's a mini-series, so, depends on what John and I thought, whether we'll continue from this point forward. But overall, what did you think of issue 2?
I gotta say, redeemed for me big time. Big time. All the complaints I had from the last one were completely assuaged by this one. We kind of had a similar situation where you had a novice character and a long-established character. In this case, I didn't really catch the name of the girl, but
yeah, I didn't either.
yeah, she was one of those tentacle head girls you usually see as a dancer. Right. But in this case, she was red, which is apparently rare.
Yeah, 1 in 12, I think.
No, I thought it was 1 in like a couple of million or whatever.
Oh, 1 in a million. You are correct.
Yeah, 1 in a million. Twi'leks,
yeah.
Twi'leks, yeah. So, we don't usually see them this color. Usually green or white, as I recall. From, I think there was a white one was a Jedi, and then, of course, the green one famously falling in the Sarlacc pit in episode 1.
I think I've seen them blue, too.
Oh, blue probably, too, yeah. Oh, yeah, because there was a blue one in the band.
Yeah.
In the extended version, but anyway. And I don't know if they're the same race as Kit Fisto. I assume not, because his eyes are more googly, and I like Kit Fisto, though. And actually, someone of Kit Fisto's race did turn up in one panel, and I looked at him for a minute going, what's Kit Fisto doing in this book? But anyway,
I found her name, by the way. It's Saren.
Saren, okay. So Saren, and we have Leia,
Yeah.
who is a surprise in a lot of ways. One, she went back to the bun hair, which is weird, but but Leia was an exceptionally strong character in this book. Really surprisingly strong and surprisingly, self-assured in ways that she rarely was in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I really liked is the girl, Saren, really, the guy with Han, was, doubting himself and Han at every turn, and ultimately threw Han under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Saren, even though she had her doubts, was right there with Leia the whole time, and kind of towards the end began to really respect Leia.
Yeah.
She at first thought of it was like, oh, why did they send the princess? Of everyone they could have sent me, why did they send her? But, you see Leia jumping off roofs and taking, near shots to the arm and choking people and doing all this other stuff. Showing a real range of her character. And the girl gets this real respect for her and the way she operates. Completely unlike the dude from the last episode. So it rang a lot more true for me that, that one, Leia would be this tough after, all these years of being a rebel and having to fight her way in and out of problems and stuff like that.
Right.
But it also rang true to me that this girl, would more follow Leia's lead than rankle against it like the other dude did with Han.
Yeah. For me, I liked the first issue, but I totally got your all's points about that character. He was kind of an idiot.
Yeah, he's a punk. He was a twit, man.
He was a punk. He was a jerk, and he was an idiot. Yeah.
He deserved to die.
Yeah.
Or he didn't die, but he should have died at some point.
Yeah. But at first, as this one started, I started to worry that we were getting basically the same story with different characters. But like you said, it totally changed it. It turned it on its ear. And I really found myself liking this new character because of that loyalty and that her coming, her understanding what Leia's really all about and kind of having her doubts addressed as she watches her in action and everything, like you described. Yeah, this was a fantastic issue. I really loved Leia's character in this.
And even though Leia got captured at the end, spoilers for people who haven't read it, but even though Leia got captured at the end, it was a capture to further the mission.
Yeah, and
rather than.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, rather than the capture because your supposed partner screwed you over.
Yeah. It also makes me wonder, now Han has purposely gotten himself captured. Leia, well, kind of purposely.
Well, yeah.
Leia has gotten captured. It makes me wonder if this whole rebel heist thing isn't some sort of plan for them all to end up in the same place.
I think it is because, if you look at the very last panel, who the defecting stormtroopers contact is.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me think that, hey, this is, we're definitely getting the band together for this heist.
And that's going to be next issue. It's going to be that character, which I don't want to spoil that.
Yeah, no, I don't want to spoil that. That's why I'm being vague, because that's an especially good part of this issue, and using a character that, in my opinion, has never gotten the kind of singular respect that he deserves.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been part of a team or part of a duo, or he's never kind of been. You rarely see him out there on his own. And I thought it even though I spoiled it, I thought it was a great twist that, one of the troopers was the thing that they needed, the thing that they came to the planet for.
Yeah, that was a nice twist. I like that.
Yeah, so, all in all, I love this one. Completely changed my mind versus the last one.
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting if they keep the same kind of format where they're, like you said, keeping a new character, a novice, in with a established character, how they're going to do that one next issue with that particular character.
Yeah. Well, that, and if the trooper is going to be the novice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a possibility, because he's supposed to hook up with that character.
True.
We're going to have a very internal monologue heavy issue, I think, for one.
I think so.
Yeah, I was also real surprised. The art in the last one was good.
Mm-hmm.
The art in this one was exceptional.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Yeah. The likeness they got for Leia, I'm like, holy crap, Carrie Fisher would pay to look this good.
Yeah, definitely hats off to the artist, which is Marco Castiello.
Yeah, excellent job. Excellent job capturing, very iconic things like troopers and I like how they explain some things. This was almost like a James Bondy sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because Leia was using a lot of gadgets.
Yeah.
And stuff. Rocket Pack, the facial distortion thing.
Yeah, she was crashing a party in a fancy dress, and
crashing a party, going into someone's little secret area.
Yeah.
It was very much felt like a James Bond sort of thing, and then leaving out of there in like a superpowered boat. So,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
it was just change the time period and ditch the aliens, you have a James Bond story. So,
yeah, definitely got us.
Oh yeah, thumbs up, big time on this one.
Yeah, so we'll definitely probably. I'd say if it is a 4-issue miniseries, which I think it is.
I think so. Yeah.
Which would make sense, given the characters they're throwing at us. I think we'll go ahead and finish the series on Zone 4.
Yeah, I think we should. Just because I'm extremely intrigued by the next one.
Mm-hmm.
To a point that I'm real surprised I'm intrigued by a Star Wars thing. Because, I haven't been intrigued by a Star Wars thing in a long time. But yeah, I gotta give it to Dark Horse. They're definitely finishing off on a bang as far as their Star Wars stuff, because it's just really impressive. Yeah, I'm trying to see if it says anywhere if it's only 4 or not. I'm only finding, issue numbers, but not finding of whatever.
Let me look in the solicitation.
Rebel Heist is 4 issues.
That's what I thought.
Thank you.
Welcome back. I thought it was. I just wanted to make sure.
Do you have any opinions on Rebel Heist? Or you didn't get a chance to read it?
I didn't get a chance to finish it, but I thought the first issue set up for something that I might love, but so far I'm liking what I'm reading with issue 2. Issue 1 was kind of like shaky for me, but
I hated issue 1, but yeah, this is much better.
Yeah, 2 is fantastic, and
yeah,
of course we know what character we're going to get in the 4th issue. So.
Oh yeah, of course. No,
4th issue.
4th.
Oh, 4th.
And don't spoil number 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just
Censor
We're trying not to spoil it.
Yeah. We tried hard not
Brent, give me that little beep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, beep.
All right, so do we want to go ahead and talk about trees, or did you want to go over Dr. Spektor real quick, John? Because I think we can do that one pretty quick.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't. We should probably do Spektor next, I guess.
Okay.
And then we can, talk trees a little.
Yeah, this is written by Mark Waid, art by Neil Edwards. It's from Dynamite Entertainment. Just put that out there.
Yeah. I was kind of hit and miss on this, which surprises me for a Mark book.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do worship at the altar of Mark Waid.
Right.
The first part of it I really kind of enjoyed.
Mhm.
It didn't so much feel like a Dr. Spektor book to me, though.
See, I'm not really that familiar with that particular character.
I'm thinking, and I could be wrong here. Actually, I think I am wrong here, and that may have colored my reading. I was thinking Dr. Spectrum, I think, from the the Marvel Squadron Supreme.
Okay, yeah, that's
And
totally
I
different.
think and I think that kind of colored my reading a little bit.
Yeah, this is the Gold Key character, I believe.
Yeah, and which I really liked the first part of it. I guess like the vampire battle
Hmm.
was kind of cool.
That's all I got up to.
And I guess the ring of light or whatever he had going on there. The little bag of gadgets that supposedly Christie's has valued at $100 million. And then, the way he finally dispatched the vampire, which I don't necessarily want to ruin, but I thought that was exceedingly cool.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that.
Yeah, now after that, kind of lost me. I'd almost kind of wished they'd stayed, maybe added to that, and then like that. Hello, Thomas. That part
He didn't
where
like it either.
he didn't like it either.
No, he
that
didn't.
part,
He's
where he
agreeing.
took off his glasses, being like the final image.
Yeah.
Because from there it got really sort of shaky for me. It got to be this corporate thing, which didn't make a lot of sense.
Basically, I think he has a TV show like Ghost Hunters or something. I think that was the gist of it, which I did not like.
No, I didn't like that either. I guess I kind of wanted to see him more as like a Dresden character than a, Roy Raymond TV detective character.
Yeah,
And
to be fair, if I can interject real quick.
no, please go ahead.
To be fair, I think maybe that's where they're headed after this issue, because the way it
Maybe.
ended, it seemed like it was kind of setting up, oh, this is a lot more real than I realized, even though, he was fighting vampires and everything, but, there were certain things, I don't know, I think what happened to him and to those around him at the end of the issue kind of set it on a different path, and I'm hoping that they just totally leave that TV show behind.
Yeah,
That's what I want.
Me too. And honestly, that thing where the 3 images came over, the robots or whatever that thing was supposed to be.
Yeah, one of them was that Dr. Solar?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. That's
It
what
was.
got me confused.
They were trying to tie the Gold Key characters in together somehow.
Yeah, I guess. That's what got me confused. And honestly, one of the characters died. I'll spoil it. One of the characters died, but honestly, I felt nothing for this character when he died.
Oh, I didn't either. Yeah.
It's like, honestly, it's like, who cares about this dude? And then, the doctor runs off to chase whatever the thing was, robot, ghost, transformer, whatever the heck it was. And then, leaves the girl holding the dead body, and, this dude's ghost is yelling at her.
Yeah.
And, none of that made a lot of sense to me at that point.
I think the gist of that part was that this the psychic who he thought was a fraud saw something that pointed to all these different Gold Key characters. That's what she was describing in her way. The thing of light going into him and taking that was Solar, and so on and so forth. So I think that's what they were doing. They were trying to connect those three for some reason. I didn't really know that they were trying to do that when they reintroduced these. Because last time we saw him was like Valiant, so.
I think we need a history lesson here.
I think so.
Yeah, if we're gonna really get into these characters at all, just because I didn't really know who many of these people were. Like I said, I confused Spektor for Spectrum. Solar Man of the Atom showed up for a panel.
Yeah.
I have no idea who the robot transformer thing is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And, at the end, I started to feel like, somebody died, the doctor runs off. It started to feel like a Doctor Who episode. So,
Yeah, it kind of fell apart, and I'm surprised with Mark Waid. I
Yeah,
don't,
me too. Mark is usually better about establishing a universe, even, a pre-existing universe,
yeah.
than this. And I was just, I just ended up finding myself confused at the end as to what exactly is going on.
Yeah, after reading Flash Gordon and then this, I'm really wishing Valiant was able to secure the Gold Key franchise.
Yeah,
But,
it'd be nice, but like I said, I think we're definitely gonna need a Gold Key primer because, they gotta remember that 98% of their reading public has never heard of Gold Key for one, and
the others just remember the ones that were at Valiant.
right, exactly, and the other 2% only remember the Valiant reprints, so, yeah, so I found myself, I have the potential of being interested in it, but I did find myself being more than a little confused by it.
Yeah, it wasn't... Oh, go ahead, Chris.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say I like the art,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't get to read the whole book. I finished actually with the vampire part, and it had promise, but the way you're saying how the issue ended up, I mean I would probably give it another shot, but because I'm surprised Mark Waid's books have been amazing for me. I mean I don't even read Hulk, and for the past 3 issues I find myself still buying it because Mark Waid's doing some interesting work on it. So.
He's leaving. Right?
FYI, he's off Hulk pretty soon.
I know, yeah, he's leaving Hulk at issue 7.
I think so, yeah.
Something like that, yeah, and it's
well, that's when I'll drop Hulk.
Yeah.
well, according to him, some people are glad, but
yeah, I don't know. I think before it relaunched as Hulk, when it was still Incredible Hulk, a lot of people still weren't on board with it, and that's why.
Indestructible Hulk kind of had me because I didn't like the concept of Hulk working for S.H.I.E.L.D. This new one is kind of interesting because it broke him away from S.H.I.E.L.D. again.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of like the idea of it. It made sense, rather than them always fighting Hulk, to use him as a weapon. But, the problem with that is it seems that they're using a more intelligent Hulk this time, which if you're using an intelligent Hulk, you don't need to point him at something and let him break it.
Exactly. Yeah.
He can go break things that he needs to break through his own volition.
Right.
Exactly. And I like that. I mean, in the first volume, Hulk just growled and roared. Now at least he's saying, Hulk smash, Hulk, he's talking again. Yeah. The other volume, he really didn't talk. With Bruce Banner, and then he hulked out and did what he had to do as a monster and then went back down again.
Well, see, that's another thing that I find questionable. I mean, it worked in Avengers because it had to. Mm-hmm. Although, Cinema Sins called him out for it. But it worked in Avengers that he could control the transformation. But, I tend to find the more interesting Hulk stories is when he can't.
That was the scene that made me laugh in Avengers. I'm always angry. He turns around and he just punches the thing as the Hulk.
That, like I said, it worked out because it had to, because it was, it was a good joke or a good scene or, hey, that was cool. It was hey, that was cool scene.
Yeah.
That he could do that, but.
Plus, otherwise, he would always have to be hunted down by the Avengers. That's
right,
what happened
exactly,
in the comics.
Yeah.
That's why it didn't last long.
Yeah. So,
But going back to Dr. Spektor real quick, I too like the art. I think the art is really nice. And
I like it a lot.
I think it does have promise. It got way too confusing, like you said, John, towards the end, and it left me with I don't know.
Much to be desired?
I wouldn't say much to be desired, but definitely some
confused,
kind of it needs something. I don't know what, but it needs something.
I mean, really love the cover art. The cover art's fantastic, and the interior art's very clean and tight. It's kind of the Dynamite style.
Yeah.
But I really like the cover art because it's not Dynamite style. It's a little more avant-garde and stuff like that, and that would make me want to pick it up.
Yeah. So, kind of in the middle on that one.
Yeah, although, I do think they sort of punked out by not calling Dracula Dracula.
Yeah.
Here, by calling him whatever they called him, but
All right.
But yeah, it was cool nonetheless.
So we have one more book to talk about, and
Mike read that one. I didn't.
Yes.
I couldn't.
okay.
I read that.
I skimmed through it. John tried.
Yeah, I skimmed through it. I just couldn't get,
Into it.
much past the feel that it was like a story I'd seen before.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, the point of the book is, like, basically, there's, like, little bits of dialogue, like, of little bits of what's going on, and the tree being, like, basically the center of the universe. And then we go into the present day where this guy, Vince, he wants to be the mayor of the city and everything, and then it talks about, about how this tree plays, like, a really, like, how it's, like, a different planet that it's on. Like, it's not Earth, like, it's basically just on, in a different universe and stuff like that. And it's a big, huge tree. Like, I have to admit, like, you just see the stem of it and you don't even see what the top looks like. So, the way I see it, I think it's gonna be, like, something, powerful that nobody has ever imagined. And, plus the artwork's a little bit sketchy, sort of. Like, not too sketchy, like a little bit sketchy.
And of course, there's a little obscene panel.
Yeah,
of course,
a little love scene panel.
obscene, not love scene. Obscene.
Well, the way you said it, you sound like it's a love scene.
Real quick, just to interject, this is Trees by Warren Ellis and Josh
Right.
Allen.
And I mean, it decimate a lot of the planet, and then the planet started to regrow around it.
Right. That's what I was saying. That's going to be like one of the main thing in the story is just that tree that's going to take over like so many things that is going to be unimaginable.
Yeah, I mean, I just had a hard time getting it. Part of it was the art. I mean, the art really didn't do it for me.
Same thing with me.
I agree.
I at first when I downloaded it or when I started to read it, the artwork is what made me go, I'm done, and I closed it.
It's just a little bit sketchy. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, it's very sketchy. It's a little it's a little uneven in spots.
It's
it
not
kind of
Josh Howard's usual style, which is
Yeah, I know. It bounces between, trying to be realistic and almost cartoonish, and even the murder scenes don't seem to be.
Yeah, that's another thing I saw about this.
They don't seem to carry any weight to them at all. And facial expressions are off, and it's just I really had a hard time getting into it. And then a good half of the book is like this terse prose writing, and then we get into that whole mayoral story, which is really the point where I was like, okay, I have no idea where this book is going now. So.
Not to mention that scene that Chris mentioned, the obscene scene, was like completely pointless and just there to be there.
I thought she was tucking something into her underwear.
Maybe.
Is what I got from it. I mean, I just glanced at it quickly, and I don't know the connection there, but I got the feeling she was tossing or like hiding something from somebody.
Maybe. I don't know.
maybe this kid dressed like Harry Potter or whatever, but
I don't know. I feel like, hey, it's an image book. Let's show some.
Well, it's a Warren Ellis book.
let's show some genitals. Is that what the idea?
Yeah, basically.
I don't know. When I first saw the trees with like the runes on it and stuff, Chris, it reminded me of Dead Space.
Yeah.
I was expecting mystical, and then they went kind of futuristic, and I was like, okay, I'm confused. Now we're in Russia, apparently, or at least looks like Russia.
I was just a little bit lost.
I honestly was. And
I mean, more power. I mean, if you enjoyed it, Mike, that's cool. I personally couldn't get into it.
I know a lot of people bought Trees on issue 1. I don't know. I mean, I even tried Warren Ellis's Moon Knight, and it just didn't speak to me either.
Yeah,
I've kind of found I'm not a big fan of his.
I haven't read Moon Knight, but for the most part, I kind of like Warren Ellis's work, but. There's something about this that just didn't connect with me at all.
I honestly can't remember a Warren Ellis story that I've actually really liked.
Well, what has he written?
He's written a lot of stuff.
He writes a lot for Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I
he
just
writes
have
a lot of his own stuff.
Yeah, I just have one question for like all of us. Like, after reading Trees issue 1, would you pick up issue number 2 just to see if it improves, or do you just after 1 that was it?
For me, that's it. Yeah.
That's it.
Two.
You know, if I can't get into 1, getting 2 really. You know, if I can't even read issue 1, getting issue 2 isn't going to help me understand anything any better.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
I would
really
have
just
to.
about the tree. That's it.
Right.
Just being the main power of the whole planet and everything.
I mean, I have to sit down and force myself to work my way through issue 1 before I'd even think of getting issue 2.
Yeah.
And if you have to force yourself to go through any comic book, it also begs the question of, do I really need to read the next issue?
Yeah.
Right. You know, it becomes a project then, and who needs that?
Yeah. Warren Ellis, Chris, wrote the Ultimate Comics Armor Wars.
I didn't read that.
Okay, he's written a bunch of, like John said, a bunch of Marvel stuff.
Oh yeah, he's all over
Wolverine,
Marvel.
Fantastic Four, Thor, whatever.
I'm sure I bumped into him a few times. It's just not clicking with me right now.
And he's,
Honestly, if Bendis didn't write it, he did.
yeah, he also wrote stuff like Transmetropolitan, The Authority, Hellblazer, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
some of his stuff is good. I mean, you know, I was never that big an Authority fan, but I did like some of the issues. I mean, I was a big fan of Jack Hawksmoor, the character, but you know, I wasn't really that big into the Authority as a book.
I don't know. I just every time he writes something, I try it and I just don't dig it. I don't know.
It's very much an acquired taste because a lot of his stuff gets really, really ultra violent. It's very much that British, you know, 2000 AD, kind of heavy metal sort of aesthetic.
Which is not my thing.
Which is not your thing. You know, you really have to be ready for that kind of story because a lot of stuff, like especially stuff like The Boys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, you know, that's violent filth in a lot of ways. It's good violent filth, but it's violent filth in a lot of ways. And, you know, it's definitely not some people's cup of tea.
Right. So, yeah, for me, it's a pass. John, pass.
Yeah, I'm all pass on that. I'm like thumb at the middle on Dr. Spektor, and I'm big thumbs up on Star Wars.
And thumbs down on Trees, yeah.
And thumbs down all over Trees.
The same way on all three of those. What about you, Chris? I know you only read parts of a couple of them.
I definitely would not read Trees. I didn't even go past page 1 before I said no, not my book. Obviously, Star Wars is a humongous thumbs up. Dark Horse deserves to keep Star Wars. Marvel shouldn't get it, but not my call. And with Dr. Spektor, I wouldn't have read it anyway, I think, not because of Mark Waid, just because the title just didn't interest me to begin with. I only read it because I knew we were going to be talking about it here. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have even bothered.
Okay. And Mike, you just read Trees, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
What, thumbs up or down?
To me, I'm just saying it's in the middle.
Okay.
Like, I really... Like, the story was a little bit interesting, but...
Would you come back for the next issue?
Probably not.
Okay, so that's a thumbs down.
I think this book is definitely for people who are all about Ellis. You know, those people who go, I have to read everything Warren Ellis does. You know, those people would probably like this book.
Didn't Mike Spider-Slayer read this and really enjoy it? Wasn't he talking about that on the... thought I saw him mention that somewhere.
If it was on GroupMe for the past 3 days, my GroupMe I've had to have off on my phone because my battery literally died once already.
Okay.
So, and then I just forgot to turn it back on, so...
Yeah, I think he did mention that there. So, interesting. Okay. All right, but yeah, that's it. That's our topic, and it's time to wrap up the show, so we will do...
Read Invincible!
Yeah.
Read Invincible.
Sorry, I have to throw that in there. Read Invincible.
Go listen to the latest episode of Chris's podcast. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's a podcast. He and I talk about Invincible on there. We also talked about it on the Frontline live show. Mm-hmm. It was very, what's the word?
Gory?
Well, it was gory, but it was a very interesting issue. I'll just leave it at that.
It's Robert Kirkman-esque.
Lots of serious things happen.
Yeah.
But anyway. But we will go around the table
Thunder!
and see what
That's
everybody
right.
has coming out, and going on, as we always do. Chris, we'll start with you.
With me right now, now that Zenoscope Week is over with Comic Frontline, I'll be going back to the regular comic reviews. As you just said, Brent, It's a Bird, It's a Plane, It's a Podcast. New episode came up. When this goes up, it came up yesterday, and there was a lot of interesting discussion with DC Comics, Forever Evil, etc., etc. Other than that, right now I'm just enjoying the rest of my birthday week. So really, it's just the reviews for Frontline, and we're not looking to do anything further than that right now. There's some Brooklyn Boys stuff, but I'm sure that Mike will want to cover that. But we're getting ready for a special New York Comic Con special edition that's coming up in, I believe, 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
And we'll be there. We have, I don't want to spoil this yet because we didn't get it in the mail, but there is something coming in the mail. Brand helped out with it, and there's that. Oh, the writing. Epic X.
Oh, yeah.
The teaser for Brooklyn Boys is in the outline stage, so there might be a teaser up by sometime in June, middle. And as far as the story I'm working on for Frontline, we actually did come up with an idea for Frontline, but we're having the meeting this coming Tuesday to solidify that idea. And that's really it for me.
Cool. And what about you, Mike?
Same thing like Chris said. Got some comic reviews that I'm gonna do for Frontline, and there was some that I did last week that none of us could really get around. But Brooklyn Boys stuff. We got lots of stuff going on there. There is a game, Mario Kart 8, that's coming out this week for
It's coming out today. The day this is airing, Friday.
The Nintendo Wii U, and I hope to get that and do an unbagging for my channel as well as the game thing I do for Frontline to give my take about the game and all that. And yeah, as far as that, life's been really good.
Awesome.
And yeah, and happy birthday to you, Chris.
Thank you.
And many more years to come.
I hope the cake was good.
The cake is a lie, Paul.
All right, John, what about you?
Oh, let's see. As I mentioned before, I'm completely doing the 12-page story called Bound for Pangea Island for the steampunk... Oh, what's it called? The Steampunk Originals Anthology number 7. After many false starts with many slacky artists, I've decided just to do the whole bloody thing myself, so I'll be doing that for that. That will come out in September. I haven't started it yet, but I will. I have been coloring pages of Dave Arhar's Jor Elvis comic. Yes,
I don't
indeed.
even want to know.
Jor Elvis, just like it sounds.
Oh, wow.
I've been coloring pages of that, and that'll come out whenever he decides.
I can't wait to see that.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
Wait for an eternity to see that.
That'll be fun. And other than that, go check out my new DeviantArt page, which is DeviantArt/MonkeyWorks, I think. And
I have to subscribe.
beyond that, just working on comic-related 24/7.5.
Mm-hmm.
And I will be going to Heroes Con in about 3 weeks or so, promoting the Derby City Comic Con and comic-related, and promoting the Queen City Comic Con and the Cavalcade of Comics and all that fun stuff. And Beyond that, still no new date for the River City Comic Expo. It won't be the date that I have up on the website. We're shifting it around to not step on the toes of some of our friends in the con businesses. So yeah, so that'll move, but I'll keep you posted as that happens. Other than that, just trying to clean up, get my studio together and in a nice spot, and that's about it. Watch my wife take pictures of my goofy dog and his baby pole outside.
Nice. All right.
Thunder collections.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Thor's upset outside my house for some reason.
As for me, not too much else to report this time. Still trying to wrap up a bunch of different books for Chris Charlton's Assailant Comics. We're hoping to get several new issues out for Derby City Comic Con. I wrapped up Open Tree #1 Freedom Run today. Working on Binary Gray #8 and Black of Heart #3. Both of those are up next. And speaking of Chris, I have to mention that he found out today that his short story is going to be included in the Dark 2, published by IDW.
Nice.
So very cool. The story is called Demon Dolls. So look for that. It's written by, or not it's written by, but it's Rachel Autumn Deering's book, and his short story's going in. So very cool. Out of 112 submissions, she picked 3, and his was one of them.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, awesome. Congrats, Chris. Not you. The other Chris. I know too many Chris's. Chris Charlton. There we go. Beyond that, New Comic Day, Western Arc is wrapping up next week, I think. And working on a bunch of different other stuff, so be on the lookout for all kinds of stuff upcoming. And Hall of Toys next week. It's a podcast. We already mentioned a new episode up for that already. And I should mention this. Next week on Zone 4, if schedules go accordingly, a familiar voice will be back on the show that hasn't been on the show for a very, very long time. So, be on the
Donald Duck?
Donald Duck was, well, actually, he was on the show once. You never know what's going to happen with that group. You know what I mean, John?
That's true.
Could be Hamburger University. That's
no.
Anyway.
So.
But also, sometime later this year, my Steampunk Superhero Prose Anthology story will be published in the Singularity Rise of the Posthumans by New Apple Books. I don't have a date yet, but seems like promotion is starting to ramp up for that. So there you go. That's all from me. So who wants to read us out? Do you have any creative voices for us this week, John?
Oh, no.
Okay. Chris,
no,
you want to read us out?
I would, but Sydney took my notes, so I don't have it.
Actually, I could do the. I have been watching a lot of Honest Trailers lately. I could probably do that guy's voice.
Oh, okay. I was going to suggest you read it as a Wookiee, but that's
a
that
Wookiee?
Works
okay, well, see, a Wookiee though, no one will understand me except other Wookiees.
That's true. Could do it in R2D2. That'd be the same problem.
Also, same problem.
Go ahead, do it however.
I'll be glad to do it as a Wookiee, but no
Here, I'll tell you what.
The references.
You do it as a Wookiee, and I'll translate.
Oh, okay, I can do that. Okay, we can do that. All right, here we go.
I'll take it next time, though.
Okay.
All right.
It's the weirdest Wookiee voice I've ever heard.
I know, I can't really do it tonight. Sorry.
I don't even know what that is.
That sounds like a. I was gonna say it sounds like a duck.
All right, do monkeys. I'll translate the monkeys.
Okay.
We'd like to thank our sponsors while we throw poop at them. Audible.com. Go to Audible trial. Give me that banana. /Zone 4 podcast for a free 30-day trial and book download. Stop hitting the fleas off my back. And for all the latest news on Derby City Comic Con, go to the website. I'm not telling you the website. No. DirtyCityComicCon.com. We like. Go ahead. We'd like to thank the official bands. I was over. Oh, yeah. Don't. What?
I'm curious, George.
The man in the yellow hat just ran by. The Raywall Band and Society's Play that you hear on the show each and every week. If you have any comments or extra food, bananas and banana shakes, banana cream pies,
And a banana boat.
that too.
And a banana split.
I'll take it. Or questions.
Bacon banana split.
Or questions. Do monkeys eat bacon?
Or BANANAS.
Questions or suggestions, send those to zone4@comicrelated.com. Don't talk to me like that. Don't say that.
Bad monkey. Bad.
We are also a proud member, I can't say that on the air, monkey, of the Comic Related Podcast Network. And as always, thanks for listening. You are now entering a galaxy far, far away. What?
And his name is Donkey Kong.
You are now leaving. Thank God. So oh, shoot. Bye, everybody.
My bacon lies over the ocean.
Later, everybody.
My bacon lies over the sea.
Sergeant Major, kill that man.
This is only a test for the X-Men.
Hello.
Yeah, it's very cool.
That was a legitimate question. That's cool.
No, it was weird. My sound just like totally cut out. It's really
Okay. I'm sorry. I thought you wanted a legitimate answer. I mean, yeah, that's great.
I think I just lost somebody.
John? You lost John.
Okay, that's what happened.
John.
Don't scare me like that. I'm like, I didn't know you wanted an answer to that. I was like, yeah, that's cool.
No, something changed. He must have had some kind of background noise because it just went dead, and I was like, oh God, I just lost internet or something.
Yeah, he lost internet because it's ringing and ringing and ringing and ringing.
Yeah. Let me message him on Facebook real quick, and I'll have to edit all this
Listen,
out.
I can't add a fourth person, Brett. I don't have anybody.
What's this? Oh.
Ooh, I have a good answer. It's cooler than Iceman's underwear.
What? Iceman's underwear?
Yeah, because they're ice.
But underwear? Watch use boxers.
Fine, it's cooler than Iceman's boxers.
Thank you.
You don't know what he wears.
Yeah, how do you know what ice...
I didn't
slept with Iceman, didn't you?
Oh yeah, he was very cold and freezing. Mm-mm.
That's what you're used to, and that's what you are. Cold and freezing.
No, I'm smoking. You just forget it.
That's bad for you. Nicotine's very bad for you.
Well, you know what, Mr. Heineken drinker, you?
I don't drink. I do
You have
not
a
drink
beard.
Heinies.
You have a beard and a sideburn and a mustache and
Thank you.
Irish.
Thank you.
Okay.
What's that? Oh, what happened, John said.
Huh?
What happened?
I don't know what did happen.
I don't know. He typed it. What happened?
The earth...
Oh, John typed what happened? No.
Yes!
The earth fell, that's what happened.
A ring a ding ding. A ring a ding ding. A ring a ding ding.
A ring-a-ding-ding. Ringing, ringing. Who's that calling on my phone? Who's that calling on my phone? Nothing's working, Brant. John! Pick up the phone! I didn't... Yeah.
Hello?
Hello.
There you are.
John?
Did Audible
They
cut
kicked
you
out
off?
my internet. Yeah, Audible made me no longer audible.
If we lose you again, I'm calling your cell, so answer.
Oh, well. Alright, yeah, I was in the other room fixing the internet.
Okay.
Damn internet.
Because Brent gave the whole Audible thing. He's like, "Isn't that cool?" And you went
Real
off,
fun.
and I didn't notice. And he's like, "Well, isn't it?" And I'm like, Sure. Yeah, it's great."
No, I answered, then you answered.
But now I have an answer.
Well, whenever Brand's gonna record, then you say your answer.
He's recording right now. He's gonna edit all this out.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.
Chihuahua, chihuahua, enchilada, kukala, goomba.
Yeah, I'm losing
Why?
Brent.
Chihuahua, 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 my bambino, go to sleep.
Let's do the intro fast, because whatever you did worked.
Do it again.
All the stars in the sky are ready to say goodnight. Can't you see your daddy's sleepy too? Close your drowsy little eyes, and mommy will hold you tight.
The next zone for Endeavor. Brent is chasing after the bacon children's music night songs. Hush, little bacon, don't say a word. Daddy's gonna cook you. Oh shit. In the frying.
You're scaring the child now. Do it.
So you're gonna kick
Go
me out,
to
aren't
sleep, go to sleep. We have to cook you in the
you? He
morning.
doesn't like that.
You're gonna sizzle, you're gonna bake. We like you nice and crispy bacon.
Oh.
Go to sleep.
Oh, poor child.
My bacon lies over the ocean. My bacon lies over the sea. I gotta get the hell over there. Okay. Oh,
Bring back, bring back, bring back my bacon to me.
what's the one with spaghetti? On top of spaghetti.
All covered with cheese.
I lost my poor bacon ball when somebody sneezed.
Keep going, it's getting him quiet.
I'm trying to think of other nursery rhymes. Hold on. If I had a bacon, I'd eat it in the morning, even in the evening, all over this land. I'd eat up justice. I'd eat up. If I had it off, I'd share it with my brothers and stuff.
You said it's fine.
Come and knock on our door. We have bacon for you. Where the pieces are hers and his. Bacon's company too. I'm out of ideas, man. I'm sorry. There's only so much I could do before I'm out of ideas.
I have one, but I swore I'd never sing it to him.
Then forget it.
And you would have pronounced half of it.
Ring around the bacon, a pocket full of bacon bits. Ashes, ashes, the barbecue's ready! What are you singing, Indian?
Have you ever heard the wolf cry?
They make bacon out of wolves?
Yeah. I don't know. You ever heard the wolf cry at the blue bacon moon?
Take notes, Brent. These are good ideas for Zone 4 tomorrow. Actually, these are good bloopers for Zone 4 tomorrow. I allow this to go on Zone 4.
All the raindrops for lemon drops and bacon strips.
I would never leave the backyard again.
What is she singing?
I have no clue. It's Spanish.
Ah.
So what other kid songs can we change? Let's see. I can't think of any anymore. I think I've touched every single one at least once.
John Bacon, Jingleheimer
Smith. His name was my name too. Whenever he woke up, the only thing he'd eat bacon. Something, something, something. Da 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 da. Bacon and boil. No, and fried eggs and John.
Shut up, Chris.
Bako, Bako, where you gonna go, yo? Going down the street to see your little girlie, yo.
This has been a Gonzo Goose production. Honk!